Whenever dark is falling, you know the spirit of the party starts to come alive until the day is dawning. We can throw out all the blues and hit the city lights, 'cause there's music in the air and lots of loving everywhere. So give me the night.
Hi there everybody, and welcome to the online Point Blank Virtual Open Day. My name is Luke.
And I'm John.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Today's really an opportunity for you to find out more about our online courses and about all of the different programs that we deliver in an online setting that you can study from the comfort of your own home. Now we've got a great open day in store for you today. I'm going to be starting off by giving you a bit of a presentation, going into a bit more detail about how all of our courses work here at Point Blank and what you can expect your experience to be like. We've also got some special guests with us today. We've got John Davies, who's one of our expert lecturers. He's going to be coming in a little bit later on, just to tell us a little bit about what he teaches here at Point Blank. And we've also got an extra treat. He's going to be doing a special masterclass at the end of today's session.
That's right. While Luke is telling you more about our courses, I'll be behind the scenes in the chat room. So if you've got any questions at all, just get them in there. I'll answer some of them as we're going along. We'll also have a Q&A at the end of it. We'll do that live with John Davies and with Luke. And yeah, let us know where you're tuning in from. We'll give you a shout out. And don't forget, if you want to keep up to date with the latest masterclasses, guest workshops, and everything going on at Point Blank, just hit subscribe and yeah, we'll let you know what's happening.
Brilliant stuff, yeah. As John said, today is an opportunity for you to get your questions answered. So pop those in the chat room. We're going to be answering them throughout today's session, and we've got a special dedicated Q&A at the end of today's open day. So without further ado, let us get started. Probably the best place for us to do so is by sharing a quick video with you, really giving you a bit more of a student's point of view about what their experience is going to be like, what your experience is going to be like when you come and study at Point Blank. So take a look at this and we'll reconvene straight after.
If you're already a DJ or producer, if you work a 9-to-5 job, if you're a student elsewhere, taking an online course allows you to improve your production skills in your own time. You choose when you want to do it. I can get in from a gig at 6, 7 in the morning. I can wake up when I want and get on with the course, surrounded by the comforts of my own home. Every week a new element of the course is introduced. There's an extensive lesson and then you're left with a whole sort of library of sounds, project files, tracks for you to just experiment with.
So an example of one of the lessons might be talking about how to arrange a tune. So we might take a very well-known track and break it down, use it as a template, and then we would make a video on how you could apply that template to your own tune. There'd be some audio examples, an arrangement that was listed, and then there'd be a series of videos which are tutorials.
They're kind of cutting edge, up to the minute techniques covered in short, informative tutorial videos that everybody can understand.
And then there would often be a downloadable project as well, so you can then go and try it out for yourself, which is a really brilliant feature.
By the time the masterclass comes, there's your chance to iron out stuff you might be stuck on.
The masterclass is a weekly live session, which you simply log on to the Point Blank Online site, go to your course, click on the chat room window, and what you'll see is a text field where you can input questions for your tutor. You'll also see a video screen which will carry the tutor's computer screen. You'll be able to see everything that they're doing. They'll be demonstrating for you music production techniques based on that week's course content, and also you'll be able to see your tutor speaking to you live in real time. So you can get instant feedback, instant one-to-one answers to your questions. I'm going to load a snare sound into the simpler device and essentially use resonators to create a musical tone out of a snare sound.
Every 2 weeks, you will receive a one-to-one video tutorial. The session is recorded as a high-quality video for you to keep. To have that kind of interactivity and to have someone feeding back on your work is just gold dust, you know. And I think this kind of steel can sound is brilliant. I mean, that's a real kind of hook of the track, this. Maybe let's just try recording something in. The response that the tutor gives is completely tailored to the student's style of music or the level that they're at as well. So it might be nice to spice up this drum track by adding a delay, and you can see I've put one here in the return of the drum rack, and if we just apply that to the clap now, you see it has a really nice effect.
This one-on-one time can happen anywhere because it's online, but I can be on the move, I can be at my parents' house.
I've had students in Australia, Japan, America, anywhere in Europe, you know, really you can be anywhere.
The ability varies hugely, everyone's on different levels.
Part of the skill of the tutors is to adapt to those different levels of ability. There are some students who really are quite advanced.
A little while back I taught Claude Von Stroke on the dubstep course which I wrote.
It was really great. I learned tons of stuff.
Very established producer, but he was open and wanted to learn new things in a new genre.
There are other students who really do come in at a basic level, and it's amazing to see how well they progress actually.
You could be a house producer or you could be a gabba producer, it doesn't matter. You create relationships with people, there's a chance for collaborations with other producers.
I've had quite a few instances where after the courses have finished, students have hit me up saying that they hooked up while they were on the course and they've finished a track and they've sent it to me via SoundCloud or something, and that's great. I love seeing that.
This is an opportunity to get involved, you know, with other people who just want to do exactly the same thing as you.
If you want to find out more, make sure you check out pointblankmusicschool.com.
So there you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed that and it's given you a bit of a better idea as to what your experience might be like when you come and study with us at Point Blank. Now next up, I wanted to kind of share with you a bit more of a background about Point Blank, about how we came about, tell you a bit about our roots. So we've been established since 1994. We're actually going to be celebrating our 30th anniversary this year. We're really excited about that. And we're really fortunate that over the years we've won many awards and accolades for the teaching and education that we deliver here at Point Blank. Most recently, last year in 2023, we won a TEF Gold Award for teaching excellence. There are only 40 or so universities in the whole of the United Kingdom that have that award, and we're incredibly proud to have achieved that. And it really speaks volumes about the level of education that you're going to be receiving if you choose to come and study with us here at Point Blank. You'll also see that our students have rated us as a 91% satisfaction score for freedom of expression. So students really feel like they can come here and express themselves and, you know, get their creativity out and make the music that they're really inspired to make. Now, since we started off back in the 90s, we now offer higher education as well as professional courses, and I'm going to be going into more detail about all of those very shortly. Point Blank is also a global student community. I've seen in the chat room already that we've got people from all over the world logging in. There's someone from Brazil, Italy, Belgium, all over the United Kingdom as well. So thanks for joining us. And when you become a Point Blank student, you become part of that global community. We've got campuses in London, in Los Angeles, in Ibiza, Mumbai, 2 in China. But today really is about our online school. And so we're going to be telling you a lot more about that. When you study at Point Blank 2, it's a very student-centered approach. It's more than just the course, it's all the support that you get around that as well. Working with our expert lecturers, people like John that you're going to be meeting very shortly, but also working with each other, sharing your ideas, growing together, and becoming the future of the music industry. That's the aim of the game for us, and that's the level of education and support that you're going to receive when you come and study with us at Point Blank Music School. Now, next up, I wanted to highlight just a few of the sort of main industry partners that we work with here at Point Blank. You might be familiar with a few of these brands and companies, companies like Ableton, Apple, Spitfire Audio, Pioneer DJ, SSL, kit out our studios and also provide us with the software that you're going to be working with. Industry standard software that professionals work with in the music industry day in, day out, and that you're going to be working with too when you come and study with us here at Point Blank. Again, the idea is that we want you to be proficient across the board and ready to work as professional producers, engineers, technicians, or whatever area of the industry you want to get into as soon as you graduate your course. We can also have loads of great discounts through all of these partners, so make sure you get in touch with our student services team and they can link you up and hit you up with some great discount codes. Now, moving on from this, I wanted to go into a bit more detail about our higher education courses. Now, these programs are all validated by our partnering university, that's Middlesex University. We offer a Bachelor of Arts Honours degree or a Cert HE, which is equivalent to the first year of that same degree, in music production and sound engineering. Now we have a 1 or 2 or 3 year option. So 1 year is the Cert HE, the 3 year option is going to be the Bachelor of Arts Honours degree option. Unlike a lot of universities, we actually have 2 start dates each year. We've got one coming up very soon in April, and following that we have one coming up in September of 2024. We are currently accepting applications, so if you'd like to apply for one of our degree programs, then please send through your application as soon as possible, and our admissions team will be happy to review that and we'll get the ball rolling. Hopefully see you in class very shortly. Next up, I wanted to talk to you about our professional courses. To start off, it's a really great time to study with us. We're offering a 20% discount. So if you book on any of our professional courses by the 17th of January, you can save 20%. And that's for all of our professional courses, whether you're doing music production and sound engineering, whether you're looking at doing one of our DJ courses, maybe music business. These courses enroll every 3 months, and we actually have a start date very, very soon, this coming Monday, the 8th of January. So you can save 20%, you can get started right away on any of those courses, or if you want to save 20% but maybe start later in the year, you can book onto one of our other start dates, maybe April, July, or even September of 2024. We've even got start dates as far as 2025. So make sure that you put in that discount code, it's winter23. So yeah, it's the tail end of the festive season, and you can benefit from some great savings on your course there. Now, a question we get asked quite a lot is about study modes. How does it work at Point Blank? Well, we offer full or part-time courses. So full-time would be all of our degree programs and a portion of our professional courses as well. Typically, we'd recommend you study around 20 hours per week if you're going to be studying with us full-time. If you're going to be studying with us part-time, then usually just recommend about 10 hours per week, so it's slightly less intensive. When you're studying online, it's really flexible. It allows you to choose when you do your studies. So they're great for individuals who maybe have a full-time job, maybe they have family commitments, and they're looking to juggle their studies alongside life. Well, that's where Point Blank courses are really great and flexible and allow you to kind of fit that in around your schedule so you can make the most of your learning with us. Again, remember, if you have any questions, pop those in the Q&A John and myself and John, our lecturer, are going to be answering those as well at the end of today's session. Now, moving forward, another very frequently asked question we get is about funding. Can I get funding for my courses? So if you're going to be studying one of our higher education programs, one of our degree level programs, and you're a resident in the United Kingdom, then you could get a full student loan company tuition fee loan. So they'll finance the full course fees to help you finance that course. If, however, you're looking at studying one of our professional courses, then we do offer termly and monthly instalment plans. And of course, don't forget that 20% discount, you can save a bit more as well. So yeah, again, any questions about funding, do let us know and we'll be happy to answer those later on. So, how do the online courses work? Well, I've got a video I'm going to show you very shortly, but to go into a bit more detail, each week you're going to have a live 2-hour masterclass with your teacher. We're going to be meeting John a little later on. He can tell us a bit about that. As well as one-to-one sessions every 2 weeks with your teachers, and additional one-on-one studio lab time with our technicians and our lecturers. There's loads of tutorial videos, there's extensive course notes, audio examples, downloadable templates, projects, samples. We've got assignments, exercises, there's a forum so you can liaise and chat with your fellow classmates, as well as a chat room so you can open a dialogue with them directly throughout those masterclasses as well. So there's loads of ways in which we like to engage you. And I'd like to share this video with you just to kind of go into a bit more detail with one of our lecturers, Stefano. So take a look at this.
Well, the masterclasses are our chance to go about the material. It's like being in a class together, you know, and it's pretty cool because a lot of people become friends over in the chat room and then they start collaborating and making music. In all effects, it's like being in a class all together. So I would like to know, you guys in the chat room, where you guys are from. So let me check. Greece, Jersey Channel. All right, so okay, same time here. Romania, but based in Copenhagen. Very beautiful. I love Copenhagen very much. Normally they happen at the same day, at the same time every week, so it's very easy for students to organize. What they do is they just connect onto the Point Blank VLE. They see me, they see my screen. I chat to them so everyone can also see them and we can have a discussion. The advantage is that everything gets recorded, so students can go back and refer to material over and over again, can watch more videos. There is a lot of exercises and it can all be done at whatever pace the student wants, so they can all approach it in different ways.
On certain set weeks throughout your module, you'll be able to have a live one-to-one Zoom call with your lecturer. This is a great opportunity for you to ask questions about your assignments, any help you need regarding exercises, or anything regarding the course content. The week before the one-to-one tutorial is set to take place, your lecturer will give you a set of time slots, which you can find here. You can find a time slot that suits you best and confirm your booking. In order to get your certificate of completion, you'll need to attend a minimum of 3 out of 5 one-to-one sessions with your lecturer. Your lecturer will provide you an exercise you need to complete 1 week before your scheduled one-to-one. If you'd like your lecturer to give you help on a specific project, you'd need to zip it up and upload it here. When it's time for your one-to-one, you'll need to go back to the one-to-one tutorial page of your selected module. There you'll find a button that says Join Zoom Session. Click this to join your tutorial. Alternatively, you can also join it from the one-to-one booking page by clicking the blue Zoom icon. Let's look at an example of a one-to-one with our lecturer, John Watson.
I'm not sure if you've used this before. So this is a notch band. And what this will do is you don't have control of the gain because it simply cuts out completely, and the cue determines how wide that cut is.
Feel free to ask the lecturers any questions that you might have during this one-to-one tutorial. This is your chance to tap the brains of our expert lecturers and tailor the course to your needs.
So there you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed that. It's given you a bit more information about how the courses function, what you can expect them to be like. Now we've got John Davies with us.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure.
So John's one of our expert lecturers and might be teaching your course. So yeah, it'd be great to find out a little bit about you and what you teach here at Point Blank.
So I teach a lot of composition. I know for a fact that I'm going to be teaching 2 composition classes, one in London and another one online. I've been teaching composition now for 6 years. It was my 6-year anniversary.
Amazing.
A couple of months ago. I've also taught advanced composition, music theory, mixing, and songwriting, and a few other things that I might teach in the future that I've taught elsewhere. So yeah.
Awesome. So how did you get into making music, into becoming a composer, music producer, musician? I know that you're a man of many talents.
Jack of all trades.
What was your way in? How did you get here?
So I studied. I always loved music, and I went and studied music at university. Got really into composition, so decided to stick around for a master's in composition. I think at that point I wanted to be like Quincy Jones.
Nice.
Wasn't quite sure whether I wanted to sort of make my own music or produce music for other people. So after I graduated, I spent a couple of years basically just writing songs with as many people as I could find in London. And one of those people started doing quite well. So I spent about 2-3 years producing his debut album for a major record label and touring with his band. Then he got dropped, which was a bit rubbish. And I kind of fell back into, I basically mixed for a few years, pretty much full time, but kind of missed the sort of artist development side of being a producer. And I saw the Point Blank job, applied for it on a whim, taught one class and realized that actually my dream of being a producer, sort of helping people realize their creative ideas, actually being a lecturer involved more of that than being a producer. So I've been lecturing full time ever since.
Amazing stuff. And so what might a student expect to learn, let's say, from your composition class? Where might a student come in, and at what level would you expect them to kind of be once they finish that course with you?
That is a good question. Honestly, I expect some of my students to come in knowing no music theory whatsoever. I expect some of my students to have never finished a song. I also expect a good third of my students will be writing music at quite a proficient level. I mean, I've taught one student that was the head of keyboard studies at a very big music conservatoire who definitely schooled me in music theory. But you know, I think what we always try and do is really explain. So in my case, the music composition module, what is music composition? What are the various stages in the process? We'll spend 1 or 2 weeks per week looking at one of those aspects. But really, in the one-to-ones, a lot of that involves listening to what music a student might be making that week or couple of months ago, and working out where that student's at, what are the next things that student needs to focus on. So it's quite holistic, really.
Nice. Well, I know that we've got a masterclass in store a little later on, so John's going to be coming back and sharing with us what you can do with a sample, which is really exciting. I've got one final question for you before we see you a little later. If you could give any advice to our attendees online all over the world right now, what would that be? Bearing in mind, maybe the advice that you would have liked to have received, when you were perhaps in their shoes.
So I got some great advice. It was actually given to me by someone he's now head of A&R at a big major record label, and he said that in his first week in the music industry, someone said, "Get to know your generation," and he passed that advice on to me, and it's great advice, because if you get to know your fellow producers, then if one of them has a break, they might ask you to support them on the Leeds wing of their UK tour, or they might have an artist that they're working with that's really good, and they say, "Oh, you should work with this person." So really just making friends with as many people as possible, working with as many people as possible, because you never know who you might not think you gel with them, but actually you do a session with them. And I mean, I did a one-off random session with this guy, and then from that one session, I ended up producing his debut album for Columbia Records for 3 years. And the other piece of advice that I wish someone had told me is to just make music as much as possible, and not worry about perfecting one thing, because the more music you make, the more you learn, it's either win or learn. And that's a big part of the way that I teach now, just getting students, and myself, to just make as much music as regularly as possible.
Cool, absolutely. Well, they're very wise words, so do heed them. Yes, well look, we're going to be meeting John a little later on, but for now I wanted to share with you another video, just going through a few student testimonials, so really giving you an opportunity to hear from students of ours who have studied online courses. So yeah, take a look at this video.
Hi guys, this is Smokey. I'm a singer, songwriter, future music producer, currently studying the online Search HE program at Point Blank on music production and sound engineering, and I'm absolutely loving it. I particularly like the virtual learning environment a lot because I can take my course whatever time suits me best. Plus, since it's all on video, I can always go back, rewatch something if I miss some information, which is very useful. So I feel like Point Blank is really helping me stay focused, structure my career better, and just be more creative in general. So thank you guys.
Hey everyone, I'm Jared Boylatad. I'm a music producer and aspiring sound engineer. I'm taking the BA Honors Music Production and Sound Engineering degree at Point Blank Music School online. I've had an amazing experience studying with Point Blank. I love the way the lessons are taught, especially when using the VLE. It's very intuitive and the modules are well organized. I get to have plenty of one-to-one sessions and master classes with my teachers where I can get personal attention and really hone my skills to the professional level.
It's your big dog Sheldon Curl, and I'm enrolled up in the Master Diploma program at Point Blank Music School online. And what I like about Point Blank Music School is everything is practical to today's music. All the hits, the music theory, everything that we study, everything that we go through, everything we learn how to program, everything is relevant to today's music. And that what makes Point Blank so awesome. Have a good one.
Cool, so there you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed that. It's given you an idea as to what our students think about our courses. And yeah, we're sure that you're going to have a great experience when you do come and study with us. Now, next up, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how we engage our students and how we help them into careers in the music industry. Obviously, it's one thing coming to study with us, learning how to produce music or compose or sound design or about music business, but then what happens after your course? You know, where do you go when you graduate and you finish your course? Well, Point Blank's here to help. You know, that's the aim of the game for us. Your success means our success. And for us, we're looking to connect our students all the time to the music industry. So let's have a look at what the music industry is. Obviously, it's a global industry. We've seen that already today with students from all over the world logging in. If we're looking at the United Kingdom, it sustains around nearly 200,000 jobs. It's worth nearly $20 billion worldwide. So it's a big industry, and you know, it needs new music producers, it needs new talent, it needs new ideas, new creatives to come through all of the time. When you join Point Blank, you become part of that global community as mentioned. So our 6 campuses, our 50,000 plus students and alumni, and over 2 million followers through all of our social platforms. You become part of the Point Blank ecosystem, and this is really an opportunity for you to collaborate, to work with other producers, to work with songwriters, with singers, with DJs, with managers, with engineers, with technicians, people across the board. And just like what John said earlier on, you know, get to know the people around you, share your ideas, work with as many people, because you know, as you're going up, you're going to meet a lot of these people again, and you never quite know when they're going to be able to help you throughout your careers, or you might be able to help someone on the way up, you know, with their career. So as I mentioned, it's a very student-focused approach here at Point Blank. It's about you, it's about helping you achieve your career aspirations, your goals, and become successful on and off the course. So a lot of what we do is sort of careers and employability. This might be, for instance, virtual drop-in sessions, it might be one-to-one sessions, CV writing, we might do interview tips, we might do volunteering, internships, opportunities. A few of the companies that are on the screen here are just a few of the partners that we've worked with over the years. So do keep an eye out on that, and then we'll check. You'll be notified if there's a job. Now, also, we do lots of events. So we try and connect you to the music industry through listening sessions, student showcases. We'll bring in guest artists for masterclasses. We had people like Rudimental in the past, Dennis Salter, Nile Rodgers, Carl Cox, Basement Jacks, pretty big names. And they come in quite regularly to do sessions, to show you how they produce a piece of music, or maybe, what they've done to get a record deal, or, how to get a manager. These are sessions that can be, really useful and also inspiring to up and coming artists to help figure out their pathway in the music industry. Last but not least, I also want to mention our record label. Point Blank Recordings is our in-house label, which looks to develop and promote Point Blank student talent. So we have an artist and repertoire team here, artist development, marketing, budgets, publishing that goes into all of the releases that go through our label. And also we look to connect you with industry legends. So in the past we've had students ended up working with people like Kathy Sledge, Ultranate, Kim Mizell. So we'll let you know if these opportunities become available. Send through your demos, we want to hear them, and we're going to be looking to connect you to the music industry. Now, moving forward from that, I want to share with you another video, really just kind of showcasing all of the successful students that we've had over the years. And we've really been very, very fortunate in the past 30 years that, lots of our students have gone on to great heights in the music industry. And we want to do the same for you. So take a look at this video and we'll get to reconvene straight afterwards.
Everybody feel it come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Every feel it come around with round. Everybody feel it come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down when we give it to you.
Everybody feel it come around with round. Everybody feel it come around with round. Everybody feel it come around with round. Oh
yeah! Everybody in the pump. Everybody in the pump. Everybody in the pump. Everybody in the pump.
Cool, so there you have it. Just a few of our successful students over the years. You might have recognised a few familiar faces. And yeah, we'd very much like to help you achieve the same sorts of heights if you do choose to come and study with us here at Point Blank. So we've got John back. Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Quick. And yeah, it's time for your masterclass. So I mentioned earlier on, I think we're going to be doing something with samples. So yeah, over to you. Tell us what's in store today.
Well, I thought I'd just give you a part masterclass and part showcase of one of the events that's become one of our regular termly events. We do it every term, and it is a sample challenge, which involves me spending the whole of the term with my phone, with my recorder, finding some interesting sounds to work with, and then all of you students, we all get together on Zoom and you download the samples that I've recorded, and you've got 1 hour to make some music from them, and then we all reconvene after that hour and play back what we've just made. Sometimes it's amazing, sometimes you have a little experiment and it's interesting. So I've got a few examples from previous term sample challenges that I'll show you, and then I'm going to be walking you through my favorite one from last year. So here is a little video recording that I made of my favorite plant pot, and I took a screwdriver and went like that, and then I made this piece of music from it. So that was one from 2022, I think it was. This is one made from drill noises. And I just find that the great thing about these is that you've got so much limitation, and from limitation can come a lot of creativity. So my favorite sample challenge of last year was this one. I was actually lacking in inspiration, so I thought I'd just record me speaking the voiceover for...
Join us for a sample challenge.
The sample challenge. And so all the students took this bit of audio, and of course us lecturers get involved as well. And I decided that I was going to see if I could make a whole track just from...
No limitations.
So I took that little audio snippet and I threw it into Ableton's sampler. And the first thing that I made was this. So as I said, I grabbed this little bit of audio, opened Ableton's sampler, and if my MIDI keyboard's gonna work, let's go boop. And that was the first sound that I heard. And you've got to work quick in these sample challenges. So I thought, right, fine, I'm just going to go with that. This is literally, as you should be able to see on screen.
No limitations.
By adding that sample, that little audio recording into Ableton's sampler, and it works the same way in Logic, I can play it back.
No limitations.
Like so. And so I just happened to have my finger hovering above that key, and I thought, well, I'll just move the start point of that audio sample so you don't get this you get this oh, and that was quite a cool sound, so I decided to make something like this. And I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the British show Blue Peter, but here's one I made earlier. Here's what I made from that. So I fiddled around with Ableton's sampler, and I also added some effects. Maybe I'll show you without all the effects that I added. Doesn't really sound like much, actually. And perhaps I'll bring in these effects one by one just to show you the sort of things that I added to this sample to make it sound, well, a bit cooler. I removed some of the low frequencies with this EQ8, this equalizer, and then I added my it's not a very secret weapon, but my favorite plugin, maybe of all time, drum bus, and a little bit of overdrive. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I guess as soon as I added that overdrive, I was thinking this kind of reminds me of like The Prodigy or Left Fields or something. And cool. So I had that, and that was about 10 minutes in. You've got to work quick in these sample challenges. So then I cheated, as I always do. I think I just duplicated the track and decided I would create a similar sort of thing, but a little bit higher in pitch. So I made this. I lied to you. I didn't cheat. I went back to the sample, and what I did was I chopped a very tiny portion of this audio file. If I zoom out, you can see the whole audio file. No! And I just took a tiny little slither and got Ableton Sampler to repeat that again and again so that I could play it like a kind of interesting little keyboard sound. And I then decided I was going to kind of create like a melodic synth kind of thing from that. I said I cheated, and I did cheat. I simply copied that part that I'd programmed onto that new track and got them both playing at the same time, and that sounded a little something like this. I'll maybe scroll a bit forward. So I added a few effects to kind of shape the sound of this, just to get it sitting above that bass line. And I added another layer with a nice kind of reverb sound, and those two were working quite nicely together. Right, then what did I do? I then thought I'm going to need some drums, and I was about 20 minutes in. So I started creating some of these hi-hat sounds, and if I just nip back to the actual sample that I started everything with.
No limitations.
I noticed that I've got a t on the word tation, and also a little s at the very end of that word, and I thought I would play around trying to find some interesting sounds from that. So that tiny little sound there, if I take off the effects, and I'll take off the filter that I added to that as well, you can see that I've just chopped a tiny little fragment of that on limitations, and let's add that back in, shall we? Pop the filter back on, and those effects, they're not really doing a huge amount, and I created 4 different tracks, each just using some slightly different effects, just to kind of bring out the different timbral qualities. That's a word I'll teach you about in my music composition module. Basically, the interesting bits of that sound. And there's a 4th layer. Oh, yeah, that one uses a lot of, I think I added a long reverb to that one there. So together these, I call these hi-hats. I'm not really sure they sound like hi-hats, but just my voice. Creating a kind of interesting rhythmic atmosphere. All right, and that was about half an hour in. I thought, time to make a kick drum, and that can be quite tricky, but it's very doable. You can make a kick drum from maybe not every sound, but a lot of different sounds. I might even see if I can show you how I might go about that here. So what I did from memory, and I'll show you the kick drum I created in just a moment, but I basically got the sound to kind of very rapidly increase and then decrease in pitch, to kind of give you that kind of kick drum like ooh ooh. And then I from memory I did what I always do in well, maybe I'll show you the kick drum actually right here. There it is. And take off the effects so you can see what it sounds like without all the distortion and the overdrive that I added. It's not a particularly amazing sound. You can hear ooh ooh. It's just my voice. I got rid of all the high frequencies. I added a load of distortion, which always makes things sound a bit bigger. And then I will just disable these plugins and add them these effects one by one. These are all Ableton stock effects, so no third-party stuff. I removed some of the very low-end frequencies. I added some more of this overdrive plugin. This is the one doing the hard work. Yeah. Without. With. And my favorite plugin, Drum Bus. And then I just added this compressor. It's not doing very much, but it's my voice. It's my voice. I love, and okay, that might not be the world's best kick drum sound, but no one else has that kick drum sound. I made it. It's from my voice, but even if it was from someone else's voice or a random person that you've got an iPhone recording of, I love creating these sounds that they just end up getting me to take music into places that I wouldn't take it if I was using the same kick drum sound that 300,000 producers use from Splice. Not that anything wrong with Splice. Love me a bit of Splice sometimes. I did a very similar thing, I think, with the snare drum. It's not. I called it a rim shot. It's just a very high frequency kind of noise burst, and I created this. So I'll play that in context for where we just got to. I called this a drop. I'm not sure if you did. Is it a drop? Well. And then, then I was about 40 minutes in, and I thought, right, I'm going to need some sort of melody sound. And I actually cheated. I just duplicated this little melody that I'd already made here. And I added some interesting distortion to that, and also some interesting reverb to create this kind of sitar-like sound that I thought sounded quite cool. So here it is with that. And I might just skip forward to this breakdown section where I had just enough time to add a new bass line. Yeah.
Nice.
Which is actually, again, just me cheating and using this same track, but with some slightly different effects. I added this cabinet that makes it sound like it's an actual bass guitar, and of course my trusty drum bus. And then I had about 5 minutes to go before the deadline, so I decided I was going to try and experiment with some chords, and I didn't have time to make a new sound, so I just, again, borrowed one of the sounds I made earlier, and instead of playing, let's see if I can get this working. Are we on? Maybe not. I'm a little bit low. Kind of worked quite well for chords. And I played around, and I'm not going to lie to you. What I made in that hour wasn't quite this. I may have finessed this a little bit afterwards, but I made this nice little chord progression. Actually, I'm going to play this layer for you. And that seemed to work quite nicely under that bass line that I just created. And that's basically all I had time to do in an hour. And it didn't look quite as pretty as I've made it look for your benefit. But yeah, this is what I managed to make in let's go with just over an hour from this.
No limitations.
Sample. using some techniques that we talk about in various modules, the music composition module and the sound design module and the creative production remix module. Anyway, I should probably stop talking and just let you hear the track.
Yeah, let's have a listen.
Do you want to hear the whole thing?
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Cool. Incredible stuff. Very impressed.
It's a bit of fun, and what I love about this is this sound will take me to one creative place, but it's so interesting seeing what the 24 other people have done with, well, certainly with my voice in an hour, and it's a great way to just get a sense of the other students who are doing the sort of things that you really appreciate. It's just great for creativity.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Thanks for listening.
We hope you enjoyed that and it's given you a bit of an insight into what the tuition here at Point Blank is like. Whilst we were going through that run through, John's joined us back. And it's actually time for our Q&A, so you can have your questions answered. And I think John's saved a couple back for us to get us started, right?
Absolutely. Thanks so much for everyone who's gotten in the questions so far. If you've got any last minute ones, just get them in now. We might be able to squeeze you in. Just a couple of quick shout outs as well. Shout out to Lewis, who's going to be starting our third HE in April. So thanks for being here. We can't wait to have you with us in a couple of months' time. We've got Giuseppe in California. We've got Steph in Romania. We've got Kathy in the Rebel County in Ireland. We've got Dale up in Glasgow. Sounds like he's looking for some people to collaborate with as well, which is a huge part of the music industry. So if you're up in Scotland, make sure to hit him up. And look forward to hearing what you guys are going to come up with. But we'll jump into some questions now. So we've got a question here from Gift, who's asking, what is the difference between our professional courses and our higher education degree courses?
Yeah, sure. So There's one fundamental difference between the two, and that's the accreditation. So if you're looking at studying one of our higher education courses, then these are degree level programs. So they are accredited, they are quality assured by Middlesex University, and when you graduate and you finish that course, you would come out with a universally recognized academic qualification, so a diploma saying that you completed that degree. Whereas our professional courses are unaccredited programs, so they wouldn't offer that same qualification. However, they do still offer you the same tuition, the same learning outcomes. You're being taught by the same teachers here at Point Blank, and it will still expose you to the same sorts of opportunities. So if you're not necessarily looking for a qualification, then the professional courses can be a really great option. Maybe if you're just looking at brushing up on a few skills, maybe you want to learn a bit of mixing or some sound design or some composition, then you can kind of really focus on one thing. Whereas the higher education courses are much larger structured programs that are designed to teach you pretty much everything, from A to Z in music production and give you that qualification at the end. So hopefully that's shed a bit more light on that for you.
Brilliant. We've got a couple of questions from Neff. Says like they're actually interested in applying for the degree.
Yeah,
brilliant. And just basically asking about deadlines of when they should be applying, and is it possible to do that program part-time?
So for our degree courses, to answer your second question first, they're all full-time programs, so they follow a set structure and curriculum, so you would need to follow that based on the structure that we've set already. And the first question has just slipped my mind. What was that again?
About deadlines for applying.
Yeah, so deadlines for applying. We accept applications throughout the year. We are accepting applications for April. You don't want to leave it too late. What I always recommend is apply as soon as you're ready. So get your application in now if you can. We are accepting applications for September and April 2025 as well. So, get your application in as soon as you can. Don't leave it too late, maybe a month before the course starts at the very, very latest. We should be able to review your application, but the sooner you can get it in, the better.
Great. We got one here from Sim. Sim's asking about any short courses for mature students over the summer.
Yeah, we've got a start date in July, and we do loads of single modules. So music production, composition, you might want to look at doing mixing, even mastering, for instance. So if you're just looking to brush up your skills on one particular subject or area, then we offer these courses from our July term, which will be a 10-week course that you can study throughout the summer.
Brilliant stuff. Let's have a look here. So, just lost my place, apologies. We have one from, where's it gone? Sorry, I've just lost my place here. JD, maybe one for you. We've got one here from Nice Review. They're already a producer and has had support from the likes of Black Coffee, Solomon Dixon and so on. So that sounds great.
Good stuff.
Nice.
Looking to take their productions to the next level. Which of the professional courses would you recommend for somebody with a good amount of experience?
So the music composition module that I take is usually at the beginning of people's either degrees or diplomas. But I have a lot of students who have quite advanced knowledge, but they're just looking to sort of really formalize and dig a little bit deeper into maybe the things that their tracks are lacking. So I'm always confident that even in my music composition module, there is for some students an introduction to what music composition is. We can go really, really deep, but there's an advanced composition module for students who they feel like they've got composition down. A lot of my students who they're quite familiar with making tracks, they want to dig a lot deeper into either mixing or sound design. So those are often the two modules that I say to my students leaving my module, who say, what should I look at next? Being able to just look at a synthesizer and know exactly how to get the sound you want, or be able to listen to your track and know exactly how to take it from a demo to something that actually, it sounds like it could be played on the radio right now. A lot of that is in the mix. So those are the two modules that I tend to recommend.
For sure, yeah, I definitely recommend checking those out. And probably what I'd recommend doing actually maybe is getting in touch with us. Do give us a call And John and myself, one of the team, would be more than happy to have a chat with you, maybe even listen to a bit of your music, give you some feedback, and kind of see what areas you might want to be focusing on, so that you're going to be studying the right course with Point Blank.
Absolutely. We're always keen to hear your music and give you advice on what you might want to just kind of tweak a little bit. All right, great stuff. So let's have a look here. Kind of the opposite side of that then, we have a few people who are brand new, looking to kind of, obviously music fans, but just want to get into it. So I don't know, Luke, any recommendations?
Yeah, well, we always need new producers coming in, so we've got loads of courses to cover those bases. The best place to start always is our music production course, and we teach that with 2 different DAWs, either with Ableton, which John has just been working with today, or Logic Pro. So you can work with one or the other, and it's really going to teach you the fundamentals and basics of putting a piece of music together, understanding the software and the interface that you're working in, and then looking at a bit of composition, a bit of sound design, a bit of mixing, and helping you finish your first track by the end of the course. That's what we're aiming to do. And thereafter, it opens the door to studying lots of other of our courses. So something like composition, sound design, creative audio, creative production, remix, for instance, can then help you take your skills up to the next level. But music production is a great place to start. If you're looking for a comprehensive course, I definitely recommend checking out our diploma program, for instance, which essentially bundles up all of the subjects together into a full course that will teach you everything you need to know.
Brilliant. I think we've got time for maybe 1 or 2 more.
Cool.
We got a question here just asking about what genre of music the music production and sound engineering courses focus on.
Yeah, I mean, you teach our courses. What genres do our students like to work on, or what can they do?
If you were to ask me what genres do our students not like to work on, then I'd maybe be able to give you a more specific answer.
Yeah.
From my own point of view, when I'm teaching composition, I'm trying to teach students what composition is, how you can listen to any piece of music in any genre or style, and then apply those. Like, we'll talk about bass lines, we'll talk about harmony, things that are being used in every single genre or style. And in my masterclasses, I'll try and mix it up quite a lot, so we're never really focusing on any one genre. And I think not only that means that if a student wants to be a film composer or a track producer or a post-apocalyptic folk step artist, they're going to find 1 or 2 references that are familiar to them, but also opening your eyes to just music production or sound design across the board means that you're not going to be sort of restricted to any genre or style. And from what I've seen from other lecturers, that seems to be the case across the board. So yeah.
Absolutely. I think really what it's about is, inspiring you to produce and make whatever music you want to make. We encourage that. So whatever ideas you have, bring them to the table. And it's about being creative and creating new, exciting, original music.
I think that's just about all the time we have, but a few people have been asking, will this video be available? Absolutely, don't worry. It's going to go up on the YouTube channel, so you can watch it back as many times as you like. You can listen to John's track again. Don't download it or pirate it or anything like that. If you do think of any other questions, just drop them in the comments or get in touch with us directly at admissions@pointblankmusicschool.com. Luke and me and the team will be very happy to get back in touch and point you in the right direction.
Thank you so much, John. And so I want to thank John for doing his awesome masterclass.
Pleasure as always.
For telling us a bit more about your career. So thanks for joining us. And obviously John as well, for manning the Q&A today and helping us with all of your questions. And I want to thank everybody that's attended today. Thanks so much for logging on and watching our open day. Hopefully it's given you the information that you needed about Point Blank and about our courses. And I just wanted to leave you with a few things to remember. If you do want to get started with us on one of our professional courses, we've got a start date this Monday, the 8th of January. There's still time to join all of our professional courses. And you can also save 20%. So remember to use that discount code WINTER23 to make your saving. That discount code is running until the 17th of January. So you can still use it later on this month, even for courses that start later on in the year. So remember that. And then if you are looking to apply for one of our higher education courses, get your application in as soon as possible. Our admissions team look forward to receiving it and to begin the review process. If you do have any questions for us, again, get in touch with us either on the phone, by email, and we'll be more than happy to help. But yeah, it's a big thank you from my guests, and it's a thank you to all of you. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you very, very soon. All the best and goodbye.
See ya.